The mobile game market, like with idols and mech building, was and is a prime candidate to become the next big advertisement in anime. The marketability for mobile game anime is simple on paper. Create a world easily accessible to viewers and hook them in on the appeal of the animation, story, and character designs. Nowadays, there are mobile game anime that are decently received and profited, like Princess Connect and Fate Grand Order, but for a time, a majority of them never reached that claim to fame. Well, today we're going to be looking at one in particular, one that had the potential to become a grand order itself, but like many before and after, missed its mark in a big way. Divine Gate was a mobile game launched in 2013 in Japan, and I literally have no idea what it's about. What I do know about it is that it was insanely successful, that is, if the crossovers are something to believe. Yeah, apparently the game had its OCs, but when I say it crossed over, with the likes of Evangelion, Attack on Titan, Fullmetal Alchemist, and even goddamn Nisekoi. How the hell did that happen? Seriously, if you look up the crossovers this game did, it's quite surprising. It's like the Smash Ultimate in mobile games. So I guess its next logical step would be to expand into a different market. In 2016, the Divine Gate anime premiered, and man, it's not great. This was actually the first mobile game anime I've ever seen, and without that context, it was confusing, contrived, and clearly made for a player base instead of someone who might be interested in it. So why did Funimation dub it? I mean, how does that make sense? The game is only on Japanese servers and it's not even running anymore. Well, let's look at how Divine Gate isn't divine. Akane and Midori work in the technological world as drivers, which I guess is a licensed protector of the city who controls one of 6 elements. They are tasked to recruit Alta, a licensed driver who controls water, under the orders of the administrator King Arthur. His goal, and theirs, is to reach the Divine Gate, a gate said to grant the wish of anyone who passes through it. As Akane and friends go on to forge their friendship, and Arthur ventures to find the Divine Gate and bring balance to the world, something much more sinister also schemes. For as simple as the story is, there isn't much to really grasp at here. You get what you pay for. A story about kids trying to get to their dreams and the questionable authority of those in power. Which I assume for some, that's okay. It would serve a purpose and ultimately lead to a conclusion. But it really doesn't have more substance than that. I don't have complaints except for the fact that it's really barren in ideas. It's weird because it clearly has a focused path for the characters, but it just doesn't let up on the tone. The tone is consistently solemn and drenched in melancholy or angst. This leads us to feel the characters are one note and the story is nothing but a downer. The fact that the animation amplifies this doesn't help, but we'll get to that. Let's talk about the characters. The main characters, Akane, Midori, and Alta, are boring. They have interesting backstories, even if very cliched, but their personalities are boiled down to a guy who lost his dad, an angsty kid whose brother killed his parents, and a girl who has to be number one. Yeah, haven't heard that one before. Midori's situation is actually lazy writing when you think about the context of her backstory, and overall, they're just not fun to be with. Of course, the atmosphere doesn't help, but they're really kind of just there to serve the purpose of marketing their respective abilities. The animation.
Why is everything chrome?
Everything is chrome in the future.
I actually like this design choice. It's different and even sometimes creative given the technology aspects of the world. But while the style itself can be nice and sleek, the implementation of it through actions can be distractingly obtuse. It also lends heavy assistance to the dreary tone, never really lighting up except in very rare comedic scenes which are too polarizing to the usual style of the animation to actually get a laugh out. The most meat out of the show story-wise is Arthur's knights, warriors of different ages, backgrounds, and affinities who differ in philosophies to Arthur but still serve him well. I wish we got more out of them. The most we consecutively get from them are about half an episode. They seem like cool characters. They have cool weapons, designs, and actual personalities. But no, we're stuck with the reincarnations of Rob and Slater. But I do have to give the show at least one legitimate win. This opening is sick. Like, seriously, I honestly consider the top 10, maybe top 5 opening for 2016. That much is true. It has a wicked song with cool vocals and instrumentals, and takes the chromatic scheming to a new level of sharpness and choreography, especially when Arthur's knights come into the fray. It's like a split second, but it's incredibly gorgeous. The song is called One Me Two Hearts and is performed by the band Hitorie, and is an absolute banger. Sadly, the singer Wawaka passed away in 2019, but was an absolute rock star in the industry from start to finish, pioneering vocal work and music during his career. Rest in peace, dude. The problem with Divine Gate is that it does have potential. Remember how I was talking about all those crossovers in the game? Wouldn't that be sick? Seeing heroes we already know and love deal with a Divine Gate situation and maybe even interacting with each other? Seriously, the game crossed over with Akame ga Kill, Fairy Tail, No Game No Life, and its first crossover was with another famous gate, Steins Gate. It even touched elbows with the Fate series. Freaking Fate! This is not a small game, or at least it wasn't. But as is, Divine Gate suffers from a basic story, basic characters, and an unrelenting Debbie Downer tone. What it does have going for it is nothing special, even the animation has been done before, even in similar situations. And the knights aren't given enough time to save it either. The opening is baller though, regardless. All in all, it's a show you can just pass on through.